Oh no, hello? Hey, it's working. Sorry guys, my hair was so cute earlier and now it's just like, blah. Anyways, so I was reading your guys' comments and I'm sorry, I'm like not completely, totally ready to go live, but I didn't want to be late. Hey everybody, this is the full moon for, let's see, hold on. I'm so sorry. This is the full moon for Aries, the Aries full moon of October 1st. It's being streamed October 4th. This was really the earliest, the absolute earliest that I can get on here. I was dealing with my own full moon stuff. Hey everyone, welcome. Welcome, welcome. It's pronounced B and Jasmine. Oh, I've been wondering about that handle. It's BNJA5M1N3. B and Jasmine, I like that. I like it. Hey Mondo, Dragon Emperor, everybody, welcome, welcome. So I'm just gonna jump right into it, guys, because you guys have already experienced that Aries full moon, like the big thing that's going to be like what you kind of are dealing with for the rest of these 2 weeks. Gotcha. I thought it was Benjamin. I thought it was Benjamin too. I'm sorry. I thought it was Benjamin too. Hey, Kimber McKay, Sarah Webb. Hey, everybody. Hey, Plays It Fast. Yeah, I thought it was Ben. Anyway, sorry. Okay. So you guys have already that something's already shown itself to you, the frustration. And with this full moon conjunct Chiron, first of all, this harkens back to the end of March, new moon in Aries of 2020. So this is a culminating issue, a culminating feeling, either internally or something going on in your life that's also painful. That's also a source of either pain, like real life pain, or it's some kind of either a situation that you're really frustrated with that is reflecting, taking you back to an earlier trauma or pain, or it's just something's being brought up to the consciousness of your awareness. A lot of you guys could actually be remembering traumas or remembering pains, I'm sorry, I should have reapplied my lipstick. Okay, so here's what's interesting about this lunation is that Chiron, we all have Chiron somewhere in our charts. And Chiron is where we are not going to be healed. I know I trigger people when I say that, but it's the truth. Where we're not going to be healed, but where we have the power or the ability to heal others in that area, in that way, shape, or form. Please just excuse my whatever this is. So, if you have Chiron with the sun, your ego is always going to be like, oh, but you have to like sublimate that ego and you have to lift others up. You have to be a cheerleader for someone else. So if you have Chiron with your moon, you can't be like, I don't want to like trigger anybody. Let's just say that you have to be nurturing to other people and not be so selfish and only concentrate on what you're not getting emotionally from others. So with this Chiron conjuncting our full moon, it harkens back to when Chiron was with the new moon 6 months ago at the end of March. We have Mars, the ruler of this whole thing, retrograde in Aries. So that's a lot of internal frustration. That's a lot of like, is that on my face there? That's a lot of like, sorry, I'm just really distracted right now, guys. I'm sorry. It's a lot of, dissatisfaction. Something's really uncomfortable. Something is really frustrated in your life. And where this is, number one, it's going to be a while before this really does come into like a fuller resolution that you are comfortable with. But number two, even though you're frustrated, even though you're feeling dissatisfied, you can actually be a source of healing for someone else in that area of life, or dealing with that issue, dealing with that thing. So, you can be focusing on other people, focusing on helping others with the very thing that you are feeling frustrated with, or the very thing that you are feeling stopped by the universe with. And that would be probably the best way to channel all of this energy. We have Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter. As of today, like right now, Pluto's direct. I mean, they're all moving like quite slowly in their like marching forward of like doing what they're going to do, but they're fulfilling their agenda. And in squaring to Mars at this time, it's checking Mars, putting him in his place. So you really do want to channel that Capricorn energy wherever that is in your life, and be responsible, be mature, be full of integrity, be full of your own character, and do what you have to do the right thing. Hey, Heather. Hi. Hello, my name is Dee. So that's really what the hard part is to be the more mature, responsible. Being like the wisest person in the room may not be the most immediately rewarding, but we're not dealing with what is immediately rewarding. We're dealing with what's going to bring us returns on our investments in the long run, in the long game. So there will be, like I'm telling you, that frustration or this, remembrance of an issue, either with your mother or your father or both, because it's the moon and then it's Aries and Mars. And, maybe someone misused their force, misused their energy, and it's like coming back to the surface. We also have Mercury and Orb in that opposition to Uranus and Taurus. So there could be some breakthroughs, sudden insights, and this is going to keep going on. I talk about that in my weekly Artegan Weekly Bread, the spiritual board meeting that comes out on Mondays. I'm going to talk about it tomorrow, but it's part of this lunation, this activation. And like the best thing that I can kind of see here is not the sextile from Neptune. Neptune causes all kinds of trouble, but it's this Venus in the late degrees of Leo. She is now in Virgo. So this is still part of the lunation, but Venus has moved on, where she's trining Mars. So there's you have to look where that Leo is in your chart and find this one. Oh, hey, Jeff. Hello, everybody. Yeah, I see. That's another thing, is like this weekend was definitely kicking, Jeff, because as the moon reached its full max capacity, that moon went on to join Mars in the square to Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter. So I would have expected some things to be rocking and rolling this weekend that you had to deal with. And I would have expected to hear of frustrations, things that you wanted to do, but circumstances and people and other things just sort of were calling on you to bear down and to just kind of maybe gulp it down and grit your teeth and just like walk through it, walk forward in what you had to get through this weekend, whatever that could have been. But with this Mercury opposing Uranus retrograde, Mercury is going to go ahead and retrograde Scorpio. But this is really about innovative conviction, still having your personal convictions and getting some release, getting some respite, but not like in the traditional forms of what that relief would look like. It would be in a very non-traditional form. It would be in a very new and different and surprising area, surprising form. So stay open-minded. It's kind of something you can't miss. The Great Awakener, Uranus, is involved here. So it's something you can't miss. And I'm calling this, my headline for this lunation is Fulfillment and Fallout. Because there will be somewhere where you are feeling fulfilled. There will be somewhere that you are feeling like it's either going to be in wisdom, it's either going to be, and you did it, you made something work. It was so hard at the end of March, but you did it and you stayed with it and you just persevered. And now you are able to look at this thing, whether it's a relationship, a business thing, a friendship, a connection, whatever this is. And you can say, oh, I feel so fulfilled. I feel like I did what I set out to do. But there will also be a little bit of that fallout where the pain is there with Chiron, where you're looking at either things that you wish you had done or wish you hadn't done, or where you still have yet to go. And that's where you want to turn your energy to other people and support others, because there's something with your ego, with Aries that is very self pointing back at the self and self-analyzing to say, you know, I am not happy with this. My ego is not happy with this. And we need a healthy functioning ego to like live life and move forward in life. We're not talking about totally just sublimating our egos to like whomever walks along. We're talking about getting our egos into a right frame, retaining our intellectual humility so that we can have the self-awareness to understand our own intellectual biases, our own intellectual faults, our own fallacies and reasoning, our own, you know, misperceptions of others and ourselves, while still being fair and balanced, the sun in Libra, and thinking of other people as well. So accept that there's going to be something part of yourself or part of your life that is not as fulfilled, but there is something fulfilled. And you know, it has to be a wash. You have to take what's there and build on that and move forward with that. And that's why I'm saying, like, really reach for the wisdom in this, because that is going to allow you to move forward and walk out of this Mars retrograde with that empowerment, with that benefit of that knowledge that you gained and you learned from that 6 months of Mars being retrograde and like coming up against all these snafus and roadblocks and obstacles. You're supposed to learn more about yourself. You're supposed to, you know, run into something and then look at yourself and saying, oh my God, how did I run into that? And that's like the whole point of this. So this full moon is a culmination of something that you were trying to heal within yourself, that you were trying to, I don't want to say that's a big responsibility to heal it completely. This is exposing some deeper pain in a frustrated personal want of yours for the purpose of showing you what you need to do and how you need to think and how you need to act and the attitude you need to take in order to really bring in what you want. And that's a bigger part of this Mars retrograde, is that what do we really want at the beginning of this retrograde? And is it still what we want by the end of it? And are we any closer to achieving that or attaining that or adopting a better perspective to getting that or having that or enjoying that, whatever that is? Because if it's something that you want in the moment and it's not an immediate satisfaction and then it just fades away, maybe you didn't really want it to begin with. Maybe it was just that very thing. Maybe it was just a passing fancy. And you learn more about yourself from not getting that thing. Maybe that could have spun you out of control and you could have gone down like a whole different path, and it was better that you didn't get it. Lots of blessings today for my friends passing on to heaven, bigger than anyone expected. Wow, my name is Dee. You know, there has been death on this full moon. So you have all of my blessings and all of the very best healing photons. So everyone else, send out those good photons, please. Hi, Erica J. There has been whispers of a reckoning. We had a guy get shot in the head across the street, heard the pop. For anyone it's you know, that's another thing too. For anyone that has witnessed violence, especially those of us who have witnessed brutality growing up, like when your brains are still forming as children, this full moon in Aries conjunct Chiron is totally going to bring that up for you, totally going to bring up traumas and memories. And, you know, I'm getting Martin Scorsese. He grew up seeing things too. And so especially gun violence. And, you know, I'm not going to get too much into American politics, but in the chart of America, guns and firearms are absolutely romanticized, like to the hilt, to the fullest. And so I feel like anyone that has a connection to any kind of violence in your personal history, in your past, that is absolutely going to come up at this time and come up for the purpose of examination and for the bigger, broader healing. And so part of it is you healing yourself, part of it's you healing others and those around you, but part of it is also recognizing that there are wounds that will never heal and finding a way to move forward with that. Heather, I've witnessed so much of that gun violence growing up, constant drive-bys, etc. Yeah, so for those of us that have grown up with that, it does get you get desensitized. I don't know how else to say it. We get desensitized to brutality and to violence. And, you know, even outside of like violent video games and violent films and everything, when you grow up seeing that, it changes you. It alters your humanity. It fills you with different energy than you should be growing up with. But you're in a place now where you have the benefit of all of this Saturn and Capricorn, where Saturn's forward, Pluto's forward today, where you have the benefit of this backbone. Wherever Capricorn is in your life, you have the benefit of the strengthening of that backbone to deal with this and understand it from this more adult, more mature, more human perspective. And like I don't want to say outgrow all of that, but to outgrow what you do, the energy structures that you do need to outgrow in order to move forward into healing, in order to move forward into the future, in order to, you know, old man Saturn is such a wise entity, is such this like all-knowing, all-seeing. And it's because of like all of this. It's very hermit energy where you go and you sit with all of this in order to gain the wisdom. And once you get that wisdom and you internalize it, and it really is like a wash over you, and it changes your level of spirit, it changes your level of vibration, and then you're never the same again. Where you started this pure little baby, and then there's violence and there's whatever. Oh, thank you, Kim McKay, for the $3. Oh, you're such a sweetheart. Thank you, Kim. Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you so much for that. You know, as we kind of start as those little babies, and then we get exposed to violence and we get exposed to horrible things, that changes us. And then we grow when we get into experiences. And that's another thing with Pluto going direct today, is that we can see people who are abusers or who have been abused that become abusers. And we can see people that are being manipulative that were manipulated. And it's very tricky. So be really careful not to enter into a savior type of energy where you're trying to save these victims, or you're trying to, you know, once you do that, that victim will make you the perpetrator. It's a cycle. It's like this whole cycle. So be really careful of that for those of you who are into that kind of energy structure, because it's everyone being in some sort of a state of structure. You really want to gravitate towards people who are focusing on themselves and self-aware and doing their own inner work, and who have that self-awareness, which is a bright spot of Aries, is having self-awareness and getting to know yourself and knowing yourself very well, so that you are like more trustworthy and you are more trusted by those in your life and new people that you're meeting, because, you know, otherwise you perpetuate that. Aw, thanks, Mondo. Thank you for the $5. The Artigan appreciates it. Aw, you guys are so sweet. Thank you. Thank you. I know I totally got out of my flow. Aw, thank you for the hearts and the emojis. I know I was talking about violence. I know I was talking about, oh yeah. So you will, until you come out of that, until you come out of those energy structures, you will perpetuate and relive those energy structures and that violence, whether that's emotional violence, physical violence, psychological violence, and you won't even be able to help yourself. And I'm telling you, I used to teach intuition study and body language reading, and the human body cannot lie for longer than maybe 30 minutes or so. And you will see in their body their traumas, their abuses, their manipulations, their lies. Because when we speak, when we are doing something and we are projecting something out, if it is a lie, if it is inauthentic, it shows through the body. And I'm telling you, you cannot hide this for maybe longer than about 30 minutes. Like, I'm talking about even professional liars or really great con artists cannot mask that for longer than about 30 minutes. And so the people in your personal lives, the people that you love, that you live with, that you see every day, that you work with, that's even easier to see. That's even easier to spot because you know them so well. And every single one of us has our own body language dictionary, our own body language tells. So this is so Mercury and Scorpio, how I'm talking right now. So this full moon in Aries conjunct Chiron should bring a lot of outbursts to the surface, a lot of truths being told, a lot of hard truths being told, whether that is someone coming forth with their traumas or saying this abuse happened, or someone even like breaching, even getting more intimate with someone that you're dating or something comes out, and it's like this painful conversation, or painful conversations with anyone. That's why that second day, when the moon moved on from this 9-degree Aries to join Mars, squaring Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter, I was like, oh man, oh boy. I'm sure people are absolutely getting the full force of that, getting the full brunt of that. And so for some of you, it was absolutely needed and long overdue, because I'm getting a lot of people having repressed anger as well. And pop, there it goes. And it's something that is ultimately cathartic, whether that is you standing up to a parent, a sibling, a coworker, a boss, whomever. And it does ultimately serve your healing and your healing journey. And there's going to be some fallout for that. And I would say it's one of those things that really is like outside of the control when it is that much repressed. And you see that in people's body language, that they really just can't help themselves. They can't help what they say. They can't help what they do. They can't help but show you the absolute truth. And so when you're channeling that consciously, you're even more forceful and powerful. And so that's why at this time, with Mars retrograding and squaring Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter, and this being a 6-month transit instead of a 6-week transit, anything that does fall apart right now, if you put an end to something, if you burn some bridges, it will be so much harder to put those bridges back if you want to. If you decide later, like, oh no, I want to save it, it'll be hard. But I'm sure that over the weekend things were said that like could not be taken back. Be really careful of that ongoing, because we're really not out of the thick of it for quite some time still. So anything that you guys are saying, talking about, oh, Carl, what a sweetheart. Oh, thank you for the 4 hearts and the lion and the tiger and the sun and the smiley face. Mwah, 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 mwah. All the good photons to you, Carl. Thank you. The Artigan says thank you. Oh, Jeff, good or bad time to look for another job? I would absolutely look. It might take a while for it to get going. It might take a while to find something else that is going to stick, but I would absolutely strategize and plot and plan, get the resume together, and really, really strategize, because especially with jobs and stuff, that could just take some more time, and the frustrations will be mounting. So, be really careful of blowups on the job. And I'm sure that's already happening. It'll continue, that stress, and whatever is already frustrating, Jeff, is going to stay. It's going to stay frustrating, and you've got to like Bruce Lee your energies and really find a way to come out on top of the frustration. Not what's frustrating you, but to own your own inner sense of frustration. And like watch Kill Bill. Is it the first one or the second one where she goes and trains with Pai Mei, and you just got to, get so much. Oh, but thank you, Carl. Such a sweetheart. You guys are so. Oh, I wanted to tell you guys. So a little bit of digression. Sorry. I had a dream last night that I invited a couple of you over, like a couple of subscribers, and like all of you came, and it was like my place was just filled with all of my YouTube subscribers and like all these other friends that I have, like other like actors and random people that I've met throughout my life. And it was just this huge party. And then I remember what Nick said from Soho House, and he was like, a good party takes on like a life of its own, and you just make sure that they have all of the food and the drinks and that kind of thing. So you guys were really showing up in my dream last night. It was really nice. We had a great time, and you guys were all awesome. So I don't know, Carl just reminded me of that. That's just so funny. We are having a good party now, Erica J. Yes, we are. Yeah, I'm so happy that, you know, I've been so busy that today especially was a really hectic day. I haven't even glanced at my phone. So I'm glad that we get to just spend some time together and just talk this out and talk through this full moon. Even though it's a few days late, the quarter moon is coming up this, the Thursday, Friday, something like that. And that is when that quarter moon in Cancer is going to square this Aries energy, and it'll activate a T-square. And I talk about it tomorrow in the weekly bread, but this is like decision time, making big decisions. So, you know, Jeff, I was probably the quiet guy in the corner. That's so funny. Everyone seemed to be like off in their own little, like, you know, moving around here, moving around there. There are all these different areas that people were like traveling to in my place, and everyone was just like having a great little time. And it was really sweet for me to see all of like my people. And I've said that before, I don't have like fans, I have friends. You guys are like my friends. So it was really happy for me to see all my friends like having a great time and talking together. And I was just like trying to make sure everyone had like, you know, what, something to drink, little snickety snacks and Scooby snacks. So it was really cool. So yeah, so this upcoming weekend, the 9th and the 10th, Friday, Saturday, will be this T-Cross, Grand Cross, and it's decision time. This is when it might blow up, like Jeff, especially with the career or with the job or with work. It could definitely be that time where it's like the straw that breaks the camel's back. Someone could really just push. And this is another thing about Aries and Mars energy is boundaries. Our anger as humans is here to serve a purpose. Anger in humans is supposed to tell us when someone is pushing on our boundaries. So if you are getting angry at someone, you have to ask yourself, are they infringing on my boundaries? Are they pushing on my boundaries? Because if they're not pushing on your boundaries, it's you. And you have to take your own little time out, put yourself on a timeout, and you have to think about why you're getting triggered. What is it that's triggering you, and why are you triggered? If they are pushing on your boundaries, now you're in the position to take responsibility for protecting yourself. And it may even be doubly triggering because maybe someone pushed on those boundaries before, or maybe you were abused before, or maybe you did go through traumatic experiences before. So you have to figure out how to have an appropriate response, because remember, we're all about responding and not reacting, responding to this trespass against your boundaries. And so you have to put together something thoughtful, premeditated, that is Capricorn, strategic, you know, a very dignified, full of character, full of integrity way to answer this trespass. And that is not going out guns blazing like Mars and Aries. Whoever is doing that is going to get that blowing up in their face. They won't even know how bad it is until January 2021. You want to be mature and strong and show your strength and power through your maturity and through you don't have to be the loudest in the room. The loudest in the room is like the dead giveaway that they're so easily manipulated. You know, so be old man Saturn, Capricorn, and be mature, thoughtful, and recognize that all of this is so temporary. Even coming down to our lives. I know, it's morbid, but it's the truth. This is all so temporary. So whatever is very frustrating, it's a temporary situation. These energies will move on. They will move through. It will pass. I promise you, it will pass. And you will want the benefit of looking back at how you behaved during this very stressful time and seeing that you did make the best of it, that you were patient, that you employed strategy. You'll look back at this time as when the world was falling apart, when the world was in shambles, but you used those energies to become the Bruce Lee of your own life. And that whatever does come to you in the future, you will always have the benefit of this wisdom that you accrue, this wisdom that you gained when you were like sharpening yourself like a freaking katana, you know, when Mars was retrograding and you weren't getting what you want and you weren't totally happy and you were very frustrated and you were unsure of the future. Don't future trip right now, guys. Thinking about the future and trying to like know where it's going to go is just going to freak you out. It's just going to freak you out. Don't. Okay. Even my little baby psychics out there, don't future trip right now. One day at a time, moment to moment, because that's all that we really have control over is our one moment to one moment and our own energies in that moment. So if you take care of that consistently, you'll have this nice little block of beautiful moments that make up your life, that make up this time in your life. And then you'll have played time the right way. And then when the transits shift and when planets shift and your chart gets activated and you are able to move forward, you can move forward with such great confidence and such great wisdom that you'll have the benefit of like all these crazy energies going on right now. But it just happens, Natalie. LOL. I am so happy for this moment right now. Can we plan some kind of Halloween costume party like online? I love that idea. I love that idea. B and Jasmine. Now that we know it's not Benjamin. It's B and Jasmine. It's B and Jasmine. That's an excellent, everyone. B and Jasmine said, can we plan some kind of Halloween costume party like online? That sounds like an amazing idea. I really like it. Let's do it. I'm going to write that down. Ha ha ha. Thank you. Future is good. 100 pound. I know that I don't need cards or stars for that. Faith in the future is manifestation. Let's do it. Yes, an online party. Oh, this sounds so much fun. My chart got all its red buttons smashed at once. Oh, I'm so sorry. My name is Dee. And you know, that's another thing is that this cardinal cross this weekend is very, especially if you have anything in Capricorn, Libra, Cancer, and Aries. It's like the grand cross of like taking action, of like actually doing things. And so you may have to do something in response to something else that's happening, or you may be the instigator and you may be the one that says, okay, I know the next step now. Okay. So this cardinal cross is going to be pretty intense. Be careful because Mercury is in Scorpio and the shadow going retrograde. So like you might say something, things might come out of your, tumble out of your mouth. That's very much you really can't take back because that stinger, man, that Scorpio stinger. Cannot take that back. What else do we have going on here? Let's see. Ooh, Neptune is squaring the North Node. See, Neptune is one of the trickiest energies, one of the trickiest planets, because you just think that you're just like, la la, I'm gonna go to the light, but that light is gonna kill you and you are a fire. You know what I'm saying? Like where Neptune and Pisces is like going towards the light, you think you're going towards the light and you get burned. And so Neptune is squaring this North Node at this lunation. That could be disillusionment. There could be something that you thought was your path, but over these next 2 weeks, you're going to realize that it just wasn't your path or wasn't part of your path. This person, this place, the situation. Leave it to Natalie to throw the first YouTube psychic Halloween party. Oh my God. You guys, and that is the blue moon. That is our second full moon of October. And that is conjunct Uranus and Taurus. See, the middle of the month is going to be intense because, where's that chart? I'm just a little bit on the new moon of the 16th. Yeah, there's like this epic T-square with the sun and the moon in Libra standing across the sky to Mars and Aries. retrograde. And then both of them are sending agitating T-square energy to Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter, and Capricorn. Every planet at this time is incredibly stressed out and tweaking out because we have on the new moon on the 16th of October on Friday, Mercury opposing Uranus, Neptune and Pisces opposing Venus. So literally every single planet is like, you know. So the middle of October is going to be trippy. It's going to be intense. Anyway, but back to the Halloween party. So the Halloween full moon, the blue moon, it's way different. The energy is way, way different. It's just going to give you a massive surprise. It's just going to give you some big surprise. You know, we don't know what, that's the one thing in astrology that is like unpredictable is Uranus, the great awakener. So opposing the sun in Scorpio, the sun's going to be illuminating everything that Mercury was unearthing while retrograde. At that time, Mercury will have retrograded backwards into Libra. So things, okay, so man, now I'm like really all over the place. Okay, let me see. Natalie's party will be once in a blue moon, Dragon Emperor. You guys are so cute. Let me just take one quick look to see if there's anything that I might be missing on this October 1st full moon. Venus to Mercury. I really kind of just wanted to emphasize the healing aspect, because if there is anything that is really, really, really unhealed, you can really do something to help someone else. And that's going to make you feel better. It really, really will. Okay. Jeff, if the job is offered to me, should I take it? It's just a short-term thing until I get where I'm supposed to be. If it's flowing, Jeff. Yeah, if it's flowing, and if it's really flowing, I mean, I would probably want to take a closer look at your chart and everything and really get really deep within it. But I would say go through everything with like a very fine-tooth comb with Mercury retrograde. If it's something you've done before, or if it's a company you've already worked for, or if it's a person you've already worked for, then you definitely have the green light to go, because Mercury retrograde, that's why Mercury retrograde will bring up exes out of the woodwork. It'll bring up people from our past. It'll bring up issues from our past. It'll bring up contracts or work from our past. Same thing with Mars retrograde. Anything retrograde, it's kind of karmic, and it kind of can bring things up from the past. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's meant to be forever, right? So be very, very judicious and very, very cautious if you're like re-entering any romantic relationships from the past, because you might just have the Neptune eyes on, where you're over idealizing, or you're seeing something that might not even really be there. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Gomez costume. Oh yeah, I'll have to figure that. I'll have to think about that some more and figure out how we can do it so we can all see everyone's costume, because that's like the fun part. That's the fun part, is seeing everyone's costume. So I'll have to see what's going on and how I can get that to work. So, okay, got it. Thanks, just a stepping stone, no romance. My wife would kill me. You guys are the real deal, Gomez and Morticia. Guys, way awesome. Seriously, I remember Capricorn Scorpio couples are like the real super couples, the real the power couples. Thank you, the real power couples. Kimber McKay, Zoom, no ships. Ooh, I'll look into it. Trust me, that sounds so incredibly fun. I would love to. So I think I basically covered everything on this full moon. That's one more thing. Okay, so remember that Chiron is awkward. So expect this awkward. Oh my God, you guys have Leo kids. That is so sweet. Being Jasmine, I gotta find my Gomez. Gomez and Morticia are one of my favorite couples ever, because he's so obsessed with her. He's so like in love with her, so passionate. So always passionate, always so passionate. That's just like, he has like the sustained passion. And she's so like cool and with her little svelte little dress. I mean, they're really, really great. 3 of them, 3 Leo kids. Aww. I see like little lion cubs. That's so sweet. Congratulations, Jeff. That's such a success. Like you have, any of you guys that have kids, you have extended your DNA. You have done like the one thing that you know, that humans are kind of programmed to extend and make sure that part of them lives on. So whether you guys have like art babies or like real live children babies, if there's a part of you that lives on somewhere, that's special. Okay, I'm not going to get too poetic about this. There are a few Gomez's in here, I'd say. Caramia, classic. My new friend boss is a Scorpio, and we work so well together. See, Heather? Heather is a Capricorn, everybody. Capricorn, Scorpio. I've had lots of really great Scorpio, like work husbands where we work so well together, really. Be right back. My groundhog is at the back door begging for carrots. Aww. Fraz, looking forward to the party. Aww, little groundhog. That's so sweet. That's so sweet. Hybrid goth without passion, one would be like a corpse. Absolutely. Gomez is so animated with like passion, and Raul Julia just played him so well. So he was such a great Gomez. He was like effortless. My daughter doesn't want anything to do with me right now. She's very hormonal right now. We let her deal with whatever that is. Yeah, give her the space. Give her the space. This is very much that energy that I would not try to force relationships. I would not try to force connections. I would not try to force anything right now. Anyone trying to force anything that is not flowing, you're just going to upset yourself and just get really even more frustrated at what's not going, what's not working. So everyone just has to like lean into this Capricorn assuredness within yourself, old man Saturn within yourself, and tell yourself like everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to just wait, give it some time, and just trust in that's going to be okay. First time ever I put a video of me meditating on my Facebook page, sending peace within for all. I felt really courageous doing this. Congrats, Fraz. That's wonderful. Guys, I'm extremely supportive of anyone that wants to send out good vibes and start your own YouTube channels, start your own Instagram accounts. We need more positive people sending positive energy out into this world. So good job, Fraz. That makes me really happy. Yes, stay with the flow. All right, everyone. I feel like this was such a nice, happy Sunday live. Thank you so much for joining me, everyone. I'm going to get back to work, and I am sending you guys so much love and support. I think she heard Natalie's voice and thought dinner time. That is so cute. That's funny. All right, guys, I love you. Take very good care. Many beautiful blessings upon all of your beautiful heads, and I will keep you guys updated on everything that's to come. I'm starting a new YouTube series thing. You'll see that, I think, tomorrow. So I love you, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a really great Sunday, guys. Mwah, darlings. Toodaloo.